Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Board here on a Friday, a football Friday. Once again, the Barnes and Tony Show. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. You know, absolutely. You said it. Football Friday, huge here. Week 9. Phone lines are open. They're red hot. We got the TCA picks coming up too, dude. Big week for the picks, I believe, dude.
Yeah, big week, and we've obviously been holding our own this season.
So far, so good.
We're definitely fired up for that. And obviously, I was out yesterday. Yep. I know you held it down to a marathon. I saw over 2 hours yesterday.
Yeah, dude. Zach and I were breaking it down. We had some good hockey discussion as well as, after World Series. Obviously, a ton of fan interaction too yesterday. So, yeah, it was a good show. Great show.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that was great, and definitely, pumped to be back today. And it's always the day after a playoff elimination. It's always the worst. And it obviously is just it's tough because that you were right there. You knew that, you had flaws, but at the same time, I think the frustrating thing is, I know, there are certain things, you can't, quote unquote, get away with.
Right.
But I think the toughest part is that despite that, really, you look at a couple of things here, you actually could have. Because I don't know that the Dodgers necessarily, were playing their best game. You think about two things in particular, obviously the 5th inning, and then game 1 with the pitching decision there. Right now, we're talking about Yankees-Dodgers, game 6, Yankees 1 win away from a title. So it's tough to think because that, to me, just shows that you are that close. And I just hope that, moving forward, that it was a wake-up call that just these certain tweaks need to be done to get us, back to where we need to be. And it's just tough to think of, how long, it's been now. And, certain teams, I think, could look at it as, well, we hadn't been to the World Series in 15 years. We got there. But unfortunately, this scenario, was different. It was almost like because it had been 15 years to finally get there, you felt like you really needed to take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, no, definitely, dude. I mean, it was kind of that same narrative, really for both teams.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Dodgers, people were, which I don't really agree with the whole, COVID win season.
Yeah. It's like, okay, do you want to give that away to some other team? Because I think they would have taken it.
Yeah. I understand. It's like, as a player, you feel like you haven't really finished something. They didn't have a parade, whatever. But I think that narrative is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, you definitely. I said it on the show yesterday. I think, to a lot of those guys, especially the younger players on the team, just don't forget this feeling of losing,
Yeah.
Just because they're going to be back in that scenario. They're going to be back in a playoff run. They're going to be back in the World Series. They have to remember, to kind of stay poised and play their game. Because it was a very small window of the Yankees playing their best baseball, Very, very small. So, I mean, I think if they're given the opportunity again, obviously using this as a, kind of a learn from your experience scenario, I think we see, kind of a different series, dude.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But maybe, and at the end of the day, it's not a good thing because you want to win a championship, but maybe it can be a turning point and just kind of a wake up call that fundamentals, defense.
Mhm.
I mean, that has to be the priority this offseason. Obviously, getting a deal with Soto, of course. But my thought, because it's always this period of time is just so tough because I always say this to Matt, and anybody else with baseball, just the day after, or whatever, it's right after you're eliminated. You just think about how bad you want to win, but then at the same time, how long you have to wait. You have to wait a year if you're
Mhm.
lucky enough to be in the World Series again. And just to even get to spring training, we're talking, end of February. So
Yeah.
just a long time from now. So that is a tough feeling. But the thing that I always go to is, how the team's gonna be fixed. And I find myself in a different spot, just because the last couple of years it was like, we need more offense. Like you can't hit, you can't win. But I just felt like we had enough offense. So my kind of ideas here, again, Soto the priority, but then every other free agent, Verdugo, Clay Holmes, Tommy Kahnle, Anthony Rizzo. My idea is for all of those guys to just let them go. And then really, maybe a trade comes up, but like if it's for somebody that's under 30 years old, sure. But other than that, I
Mhm.
would like to just use my farm system, honestly. And like I was actually talking about this with Tommy and JD yesterday, but I would love to just go Spencer Jones at first base, move Jazz to second, and then as Waldo Cabrera play third with
Okay. Yeah.
Dominguez in left field. And I just feel like I would feel really good about that lineup because
Yeah.
I
I would
just feel
too.
like the more homegrown is key. And I said this to Matt, and I've been saying it for a couple of years. I just feel like there's just something about guys playing together who played together in the minor leagues. Like there's just something about like a team chemistry thing. And you see how close Anthony Volpe and Austin Wells are. And I just feel like, we throw in the mix Jason and Oswaldo Cabrera. That could be a special thing, and especially Spencer Jones. There's been a lot of hype over the past couple of years, and I know he could play center field and stuff, but he also can play first base. And I just feel like I'm just all for like the homegrown. And I think that is the thing that we have learned. And I was talking to Matt about it too. Besides, you want to maybe debate Rodon. I mean, he did, come back this year in terms of like, had a lot better performance in the regular season. The postseason wasn't great, but I just feel like for years and years and years, it's like we have all these contracts that we don't want.
Mhm.
But really, it's just like for sure it's DJ LeMahieu. So I do hope too that they just buy him out, release him in the offseason, because that would be one thing that would irk me. Like, oh, let's see how he looks in spring training.
Yeah.
Like, no, do not do that. But that's the one thing that I'm just a little concerned about. But just kind of curious, like, so that's my strategy. And then also I think do whatever you take, and you could dip into free agency for this, for I think improve your bullpen. Not to say that you had the worst bullpen in the world, but I just think you need really like one or two guys that really present an uncomfortable at bat. And I just don't think we really had that. You don't have anybody throwing 100 miles an hour. Tommy Kahnle, yeah, his numbers are good, but like
Oh.
against a good team like the Dodgers and you're throwing one pitch, how the hell are you going to get people out in the World Series? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's just like, and then you think about it, Luke Weaver's your setup guy, and then you get like a Mason Miller or somebody like it. I just feel like it's just so much, you need that. And I just feel like with the combination of those things, I think we can have the same starting pitching. I think that's what we need to do. And I'm just curious. And again, of course, it's assuming you can bring back Soto. I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you think that type of plan makes sense? Like, not to say that, like, of course they're going to do exactly that, but
Right.
just that thought. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. I mean, yeah, I'm not exactly sure like how, like what free agents are out there. I have to look at the free agency list, but to your point of using your homegrown guys, I mean, I do like that. I mean, I feel like that's something that Yankees fans have been like clamoring at for a while now.
Right.
Like starting these guys, getting them like significant at bats, and bringing them up at the same time too. Like you said, they've been playing in the minors. That's good. And I mean, you want to talk about chemistry? I feel like if anyone were to come up, it'd be good to kind of have that the chemistry that like you're going into Judge and Stanton and Jazz, like they all and Soto, they're all working well together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's even more of a scenario where you can see these young guys coming in, making an impact immediately. And then also, I mean, you're gonna have to offer Soto a lot of money. So I mean, like like you should be focusing all your funds on that, really.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, and I think it's uncomfortable now, and everybody gets irritated. Obviously, I don't love hearing it myself, but it's like we know every top free agent. We saw even Aaron Judge do it, where
Mhm.
like you know what I mean. They're not going to give you anything in a post game press conference before free agency about like, oh well, like this is my priority, and I hope we can make it work. It's always like, oh, everybody's open for business. Like we'll
Yeah,
see
of
what happens.
course.
But they want to do that, of course, to make the organization uneasy too, and maybe more willing to, spend more money.
Yeah.
And listen, it's not to say that you still, if that doesn't work out for whatever reason, that you can't build it a different way. But to me, it just feels like you finally got back to the World Series. Now it's the important thing is just those tweaks to make you really the
Mhm.
team that you need to be.
Yeah. And people yesterday, on the show were kind of murmuring about like what Soto's contract would look like. What do you think?
So I was talking about this with Matt yesterday,
Yeah.
actually. My thoughts are 10 to 12 years, around 650 million. What was the sentiment? What's your sentiment?
Like 10 years, 500.
500?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be great, but
Yeah.
I don't know. You really think that's he's not going to get more than 500 for 10 years? That's what everybody was saying?
Yeah,
Wow,
that seemed
okay.
to be the general consensus there. Yeah, especially like when you're looking at Judge's contract that the Yankees have too. I mean, he's getting 40 a year, no?
He's getting 40 a year, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I don't think they would
Well, I
offer
was
much more than
more
that though,
no,
right?
no,
Like,
no. Okay, but the thing that I don't know if you're like, but are you saying that like that's the contract to sign him, or you're just saying that is the most the Yankees want to give him?
oh, I would say that's what the most the Yankees would want to give him. But
So, so what do you think other teams are willing to extend?
I don't think it would be that much more than that though.
Yeah.
You think he's gonna get offered 60 million a year?
At least high 50s, yeah.
Wow.
So, but if you think about it, and especially, so he's what is he 26 now? So it's like,
Mhm.
if you do 12 years, I mean, it's like at 50 million
Right.
is $600 million. So that's
Mhm.
why it's like, and I would think he would go for that length. That's just the thing that we've seen from other free agents before they're
Yeah.
younger. And then maybe that comes with opt-outs. But and my hope is, and it doesn't seem, like he cares about this to an extent, but then again, I think it, was something, when you have like Hal a couple years ago, going to Yankee Stadium, getting booed off the field, basically,
Mhm.
to have like, oh, we brought in this guy. He got us to the World Series for the first time in 15 years. He was like emotional talking about him in the ALCS, post-game celebration, that you would think that this like just triggered something in his mind where it's like he doesn't want to like have to go back to where we were in 2022 and 2023, where it's just complete ridicule. And you would think in a way that he would feel embarrassed. That's just kind of like my hope, because I just feel like they know that he completely changes the complexion of the team. You have every guy, pulling for them to resign him. Like they said that in their post-game press conferences. So you would think, even though, we don't necessarily have 100% faith in Hal, that he would have no choice.
Who do you think is going to be the top competitor for the Yankees?
I mean, obviously everybody, out there like says
Oh,
the
yeah.
Mets, but I do feel like there is just something to that. Like he's never going to say that he doesn't want to go anywhere because, again, he's
Right,
trying
he wants
to
the most
market.
money. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just curious what you think here. Like, obviously, I get it. Like, somebody's offering 600, Yankees are offering like 450. Like, he's not gonna like give up 150 million dollars. But at the same time, I do think he wants to be with the Yankees more than any other team. But he just wants them to pay him.
Yeah, no, I think that. And I mean, that is, I would imagine, the general strategy for any free agent. It's like, I'm not going to tell any team that they have a leg up, because then they're going to be like, oh, we don't have to pay him as much. But in reality, like, he's trying to be on the team he wants to be on while getting paid the most he can,
Yeah.
So, like you said, I think it is the Yankees. I think he would rather stay with the Yankees. Would he maybe take a little bit less Perhaps.
But I feel like
But I
a
would
little
say
bit less
very
is
little.
probably like 10 to 20 million.
Yeah.
Which seems like a lot, but like two $600 million contracts,
Right.
and just being happy. Like I can't see him like, you know what? I'll be the face of the Vegas A's. Like
Yeah.
I'll go. I don't think he's gonna do that.
I mean, let's Washington. He didn't want to be in Washington, right?
Yeah.
So, and they offered him the most amount of money at the time, did they not?
Yeah. I think it was like 450 million.
Yeah, it was
like
450 million. Like for yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously you're gonna feel, you know, a little uneasy till then, but I just hope like that the Yankees just realize that, you know, they have no choice, you know, in order to resign him, and then that the good moves can follow that. So that's just what I'm hoping for. And I was talking to, you know, to Matt yesterday too, and it's just like, it really, at the end of the day, though, is so tough. And I just feel like I was talking to him too. And I'm curious what your thoughts about this, but like, you obviously know, how me and him are, in regards like to the Yankees and stuff. And I was saying like, the percentage, when you consider all the Yankee fans in the world that are like, just specifically like me and him, like, you think it's like a pretty, like, very small number in terms of where it's like every pitch. And it's like, what I was saying is like, until like we return to the promised land, inside, I feel like I don't feel complete.
Right.
Like, it's just like, I need that more than anything. And I was just saying, like, I feel like, you have big fans, but I don't think it affects them. It's hard to think that there's people that it affects more than us.
Yeah. No, yeah, I would say it's, I mean, I don't know, 15% maybe.
Yeah, maybe even less.
I will say though, yesterday there was some guy that called in ESPN. And he's like, dude, he comes on the phone and he's just like, you hear it in his voice, like just devastated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm staring out here right now, looking at gate 4. Like he's in front of Yankee Stadium, like calling in the show, like just pouring his guts out about the team and everything. So, I think they're going to be, certainly our fans out there. But yes, I would say upper echelon, low percentage.
Because it's tough too, and it's just, I was telling him too, like, no matter what, and again, like, we already know this, but like, I am so like sports centric. So it's like, but at the same time, like, the Yankees are just in a completely different category than anybody else. So it's just like, it is kind of tough. Like, and it's obviously, it's more fresh, it's recent, but just moving forward now, it's like, there's just so much time in between. And obviously, let's go Rangers, as you already said in the comments.
Oh, yep.
But it's like, I guess it's just, you just have to get to a point with yourself that, you just had to accept you're going to have to wait, and like, just have that hope that it is going to be soon. But it's just tough to think like, even if like, it's hard to not go back to that. Even when good things happen, even if the Rangers are in the Stanley Cup final, even if the Rangers win the championship, it's still just like that need just never leaves. But it's just, you just have to navigate through it. But at the end of the day, it's just tough that like, you could be doing anything, and then that thought just comes back to your head that you just want that. And I am just curious too, Tony, like I was asking Tommy and JD this, is there any part of you with teams that you like that, like, like the Mets are obviously an example, but really the Rangers as well. Is there any part of you that it's tough for you to watch old championship documentaries because it re-emphasizes in your head how long that's been and how bad you want it? Does that like happen to you at all, or not really?
Yeah, I would say with the Rangers it does. Just because I've seen them like so close to another cup like a couple times now, and I guess even the Mets too, but I don't know. I think with the Rangers it's more like watching older clips of hockey, like when they won the cup, in '94, like that. Like, to me, that was sick, like.
Right. It's like, I can't enjoy that though. I can't enjoy watching that because that's just like the first thought, man. And it's just like, but it's just a reality of the situation that it starts with the off season, and, that's what has to be done. So, you hope that there's a reaction here, that they do the right things. And, I know a lot of people too, and I get it. I mean, it's just like an unexcusable thing what Judge did with the ball in center field, but I think the people that are basically like calling it a career for him, it's just so ridiculous. And I really would not be surprised if that ends up being as well like a career changing moment where it's like he's taken to a whole new level that he's just going to be a complete assassin and make sure that his team, that this never happens to them again, something like this.
Yeah, I mean, again, that should be their sentiment.
Yeah.
Learning moment, use it as a springboard for your upcoming seasons. And like you said, starts in the off season right now.
Yeah.
So it's like you can start preparing like now, ASAP.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is the trajectory for Judge. Like you said, to say it's his like career, whatever. I mean, I don't. That's ridiculous. Like I don't think.
Yeah, like like he can never recover from this. That's basically what they're saying.
Right.
Like completely tarnishes. Like, and it's like okay, but like he's got a lot of years left.
Yeah.
So like if we get to where we need to be, I don't think everybody's gonna be focusing on that.
No, he's gonna have more than enough opportunity to make up for that. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. And then the one thing that I don't know, that just like bothers me because this came across my Facebook today. Actually, like sometimes you're not on, and I actually thought of it because Jay spelled Garrett Cole's name wrong, and the person that was talking shit about him actually on Facebook did too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the thing that it just bothers me though. Like I saw a couple posts from, and actually both types of fans, multiple posts, like just like calling out the Yankees like for not winning again or something. And like one was a Red Sox fan, one was a Mets fan. And I just feel like I don't know. I don't understand that stuff. And to me, it feels pathetic. And I just feel like everybody is best off focusing on their own team. And it's like, for instance, like the Red Sox fan chirping about this, like, dude, like you guys, like you won 6 years ago and you don't appear anywhere close.
Mm-hmm.
Like you let your bet, like, why are you going there?
Yeah.
Like, is that not pathetic though?
No, it is.
Yeah. And like, listen, and again, like, tell me I'm wrong here. I understand like when it's like a back and forth with the Mets. Yes, I'm going to say certain things, but you can't tell me, Tony, that I'm just going to like randomly out of nowhere, like just say, like, I just feel like that's not like right or no.
Yeah,
like
no,
I
you're
just
right.
feel like that's not the right thing to do. You're going to come at me with an argument. I'm going to talk about it, but you just randomly post stuff. I just feel like that's pathetic. And it's like, it almost shows me that it makes me feel like you don't even love your own team.
Yeah.
Like, why are you even thinking about that? I know if it was me, like just like right now, am I thinking about, the Mets didn't win again? Or am I thinking about, I want to fucking win again?
Right, exactly.
So that stuff just irks me. But at the end of the day, like I know the reality is, we haven't been the organization, the team that we need to be for 15 years, but I know we were as close as we've been this year. And like I said, I just hope that this just projects us forward, and I'm going to do my best to, enjoy, the other sports as much as I can. And I think, like, again, it won't be the same, but I have to say a Ranger run this year will definitely shoot some life into me for sure.
Especially dude, after like last season too for the Rangers. I mean, I would really enjoy seeing them hoist a cup this year, like more so than any other year.
Right. And they are for me like that. Like they have second place for me, like solidified in terms of like my teams. Like it's like, I don't even think there's any other team. And like, maybe it's different because, UConn's like won all these championships recently. So it's like, okay, we've won, like we've gotten that, but there's no other team where I would, besides the Yankees, where I would actually be like pretty like fired up if the Rangers win the cup.
Like, let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not gonna lie, even like I guess it's like maybe it would be different because it just feels like they're never gonna get there. But like, I don't even think I would be that fired up if the Jets won the Super Bowl. Honestly,
really?
Maybe because I just think it's just not gonna happen. I swear to God, I don't think we're gonna see the Jets win the Super Bowl.
I think Jay's punching his laptop right now.
Speaking of Jay, I know he's in the comments. What do we got? We got a lot of comments here.
Yeah, we have a ton of comments here. Let's get to a few here. Let me find my mouse. Early and often, Michael Buckta.
Michael Buckta.
He says, "Yo, Barnes, I called that Jets game. I told you they would win." He did say,
and he texted me that last night when I was sleeping after the game ended. Yes. No, he did. He did.
And then Matthew Gabriel in here says, "Oh, so Barnes is here, huh?" And he says, "Wow, LOL. And then Buckner, we can skip the California questions.
Well, by the
here.
way, though, like you don't have to post them, but Michael, by the way, I just for you, bud, I did look this up, and from where I stay, right down the street, so I know what area you're talking about. And great restaurant. Next time you're there, Michael, write this down, pen and paper. Pamela. And I was talking about this when I came back. What do I recommend? I mean, I always get fajitas at Mexican. I know you hate fajitas, but that's a different story. But I was telling you, remember the place that has a retractable roof?
Yes.
Michael, go there. You're going to be like just stunned. Architecture, Michael. Architecture.
Jay Bird in the house says, good morning. Jets are not back. Don't let some sweet plays fool you.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely right because I was thinking about it myself. So, okay, you're 3-6 now. So you want to make the playoffs, you got to have 10 wins. So you're going to go 7-1 down the stretch. Seems impossible.
It does.
But I think that's the only way. I don't think 9 wins is enough.
No, 9 wins is not enough. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, they did beat the Texans last night, so I don't know, dude. Speaking of which, Josh B says, "Holy shite, the Jets won." What's up, fam? Tony's picks yesterday. Ouch. LOL. Yeah, I did not have some good picks in hockey. So these days, just put DDD. And then sports. Josh B wants to keep it to here.
Yes, Tony.
Anthony Terriello says, "Let's go Rangers." Josh B says, "LFGR." Jay Bird, like, comment, subscribe. He says, and then we have Kev Du Taylor in the house. Let's go. We want the Smoke Jets win. Wow, he says. Jay Bird, what's good? Mexican Fly, Matty G, what is up? And then, wow, Poop Barlow says Yankees lose the AL wild card in 2 games next year.
Who is Poop Barlow?
Unidentified, and also don't know his fandom. I don't think either.
But it also, I mean, kind of outlandish to make a wild card prediction. We don't even know what the roster is, Tony. Right?
Yeah, totally. And he says Rizzo is leaving. He says Rizzo is going back to the Cubs, and then he'll
can we pack his bags? Like, honestly, not to say as a person, like I have no problem with that Rizzo, but it's like, I mean, the last 2 years were a complete train wreck.
Bellinger to the Yankees.
Bellinger not to the Yankees. But see, that is the example of what we don't do. Is it not, Tony?
That is it. Yep.
This season, compared to last season, a complete pullback. So it's like, oh yeah, let's give him the contract now, then he can hit 190 for us and have Tommy John by July.
Yeah, exactly.
No way.
And then let's see. Jay Bird says that's how time works, Brian. It'll be April before.
I don't know if I can agree with that because there's just so many things, whether we're talking about sports, we're talking about holidays. There's so much time. And by the way, Jay, opening day, March, I believe 28th or 27th. So technically March.
Got to get the contract going. And then he says hashtag Mexican Flan, which he is no doubt on right now. Michael Buckner says, Poop Barlow, what is up? Home dog, my man. Ernie in the house says, you. Jay Bird wants the coverage of the parade in LA.
It's just one of those things, though. He's like, I don't know. Like, is it really the time for that?
I would say no.
You know what I mean? In all seriousness.
Time and place.
But is that funny, Tony? Like, where we need, like, Jay's like, you know what I mean? Like, cracking up. He wants that pat on the back. I mean, a little weak there, Jay. Like, at least give us something better than that.
I mean, it's a little funny coming from Jay.
But I just feel like when it's Jay and, he's searching for it, it dials it back.
He does like to search for it. And then what else we have here? Michael Buckner also saying, what up to Ernie? Josh B says, Jay Bird, Ernie, Matty G, what is up, dude? And then let's see. Jay Bird says, what's up? Matthew Gabriel saying, what's up? Ernie says, we don't re-sign him, unfortunately. He's saying,
wait, I guess Ernie's a MLB insider now?
Perhaps, dude. He says 55 years for 12.
I don't know, man. Ernie, what are you doing, man? You know what I mean? Like us Yankee fans, pessimism never got us anywhere. That
is true. Jay Bird says it must be nice to have a championship documentary for your team. ... He says Garrett Cole era was worse, in my opinion. We talked about that yesterday. I was in agreement with that.
But honestly, I think it's equal to on Rizzo too. Like both terrible.
Oh yeah. But I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're a pitcher, you're definitely.
No, you had to cover it. I was actually talking about this with John because he played college baseball. I'm like, John, is there ever a scenario where like the pitcher just doesn't cover? He's like, no. Like, but I think Cole was exhausted. But then why was he exhausted? Because of the errors. But at the same time, he can't do it. it's on both of them. But I just, and you know what we're talking about too? The old Rizzo, the Anthony Rizzo on the Cubs. You're telling me he doesn't charge towards first to make that play?
I think he dives, like tags it with his glove, like sort of deal. Like,
yeah, inexcusable for either party. But it's like, so you think about that, and then you think about game one, and it makes it's a completely different series. But I guess it's like I said, maybe I know there's some pessimism out there for this, but maybe those type of things make the team, make the front office, make the ownership realize that we have to button up.
Yeah.
We have to button up. Let's be the best fundamental team in the majors next year.
Absolutely. Jay Bird says that he is cracking up. He is dying, LMAO. And he says the point made it 10 times worse.
The point made it 10 times
because Cole started pointing.
Yeah, I don't.
Ernie says a little tidbit here as to why Yankee fans hate Mets fans. Coworkers of Mets fan wore a Dodgers jersey for Halloween at the job.
But like, it's just, that is like really bad. And then like I was talking before with the posting, like Tony, like you gotta like talk to your boys a little more.
My boys?
No, but I'm just saying the fellow Mets fans like posting about like, like, isn't that come on? Is that not a little insane though?
It is a little insane.
Like there's just no reason for it. Like what do we do? Like I find it embarrassing, honestly.
Oh really? I mean, listen, I'm not defending anyone. I agree with you in the sentiment where it's like focus on your team, but at the same time, Mets fans do get hounded by Yankee fans. So I can see why certain people are happy that they ended up losing.
But I guess my whole thing is I just don't see the correlation where hounded by Yankee fans unprovoked. Like I just feel like that does not.
But it's not always unprovoked, though. I mean, obviously it's circumstantial. People have different experiences. I will tell you right now, Brian, like I've been like made fun of for being a Mets fan unprovoked, like just gotten shots taken out by a Yankee fan for unprovoked. Like it does happen.
The people doing that though aren't the actual real fans, though. That's the thing.
People do. What do you mean?
Unprovoked attacks, because there's just no need for it.
There is no need.
No time for it, to be honest.
No, I totally agree.
So yeah, just be better, as I once told Mr. Rothenberg. But let's see. So point I guess we're really caught up here. Let's go to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted. Picked off at a pick six. Mako Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again. Mahomes escaping on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones. Oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
The Jets, snapping a 5-game losing streak last night, defeating the Houston Texans on Thursday Night Football, 21-13. Aaron Rodgers, 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Garrett Wilson, 1 to Devontae Adams, and everybody has been going nuts this morning over the one-handed catch that initially was called out of bounds. Review, the hip gets in, touchdown. What was your thoughts on the catch, Tony?
The catch was no doubt freaking awesome, dude. But although I will say,
you don't think he was in?
I mean, I just don't understand what's the rule, dude?
Well, because I guess they're saying the
shin.
Hip, yeah, the shin
was in
down before the knee hit out of bounds.
Yeah.
Right.
So the knee out of bounds, shin went down though. So, but like people were like the shin and the foot counts as two. Like the shin counts as a foot is what people were saying.
Right.
But like when the hell was that a rule?
No, it always has been.
Really?
Any part of you being.
I mean, it does kind of make sense because it's like, because I feel like then it would be so easy to push someone out.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I guess a catch is a catch, through the catch. But I just don't understand why it wasn't like called the catch in the field then.
Yeah, I guess because it was like a close play.
Did the refs not know?
It is interesting too because then you made the Jets challenge. And
right.
like, they always say the fumble, we let the play go on. So this way it's automatically reviewed, turnover play. But I kind of think, like, I don't know what you think, with all the technology you have, would it not be wise to just eliminate coaches' challenges and do everything I forgot what they say, but like the accelerated review or whatever, and just have it be them watching for stuff all the time? Or do you think it's just because sometimes they would find stuff after the ball's snapped?
Maybe, I guess.
But they should have the technology to be able to do it like right away.
Yeah. No, yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, again, in that scenario too, like which we're watching this fucking play, which is so
amazing
ridiculous,
too.
Dude.
Like, how many times does something like that happen and you win? I mean, usually that's always in a loss.
Nail in the coffin. Yeah, dude. What a bad look, dude.
Expedited review is what it is.
God, expedited. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that would be the move. And again, I mean, like this play was able to be reviewed because they called a touchdown too, which I find that they didn't call Wilson's. Like, why not just call that a touchdown to be like, oh, we gotta review it anyway, sort of deal. But I mean, neither here nor there. You challenged, they won. But they always make it seem like there's got to be like the outstanding evidence to overturn the call on the field. Like, oh, is there enough to overturn it? Is there sort of deal? But obviously there was, and it was a tremendous catch by Garrett Wilson, not his only one-handed catch. Like, I mean, he had another one for a significant amount of yardage, and I mean, they compared it right away on the broadcast. The Odell catch,
same part of the field, other part of the end zone.
Yep. So I mean, what do you think is better catch though? I guess. You think Odell's? I think Odell's a little bit better.
Just because of like the way he went, like
he went so far back.
But not to say that it's not a great catch. But it's like, we know Garrett Wilson is a special player. It's great that they have Adams there, but like we were saying, I feel like there's just not enough like time left in the season to really unless you really are, just full speed ahead and like not going to lose. But I mean, is that really realistic?
I mean, it again, it's so like annoying, like, because almost like if you're you're looking at this, maybe more so from like a fan perspective, but I kind of feel like, yeah, dude. I mean, not for nothing, like Garrett Wilson is starting to get going. Like, we haven't seen him play like this all year.
Yeah.
It seems like Adams is starting to make some type of impact. Obviously, having the receiving touchdown here last night. Making a couple catches, being something of a target on the field, and obviously again, I guess it makes Rodgers feel a bit better. I mean, at the end of the day, they still have massive improvements. Again, the dumb mistakes, drop it. Yeah, obviously, I can't forget that guy's name.
Corley.
Corley.
I think it's Corley. Yeah.
Dropping that ball. Obviously, those are the mental mistakes you want to stray away from. I want to say there was no delay of game penalties, which sounds funny, but that's like a pretty big step in the right direction here this week. So it's like, oh, dude. But then it's like you think about it more, and it's like our Texans, like they're obviously good. Struggled with some of the pass blocking here, but they were so injured too. Like they really only had Tank Dell as a receiver, right?
Yeah.
The other guy, I think,
Diggs is out for the year.
Yeah.
And then Collins is out, I think, too.
Collins was out. So I mean, obviously you're playing against a banged up offense here for the Texans. Nonetheless, still a good team. And it just seemed like the Jets had one of their best games of the year offensively. Like, it just seemed like they were making big plays. And if they can build upon that, like, that is huge. I feel like if they started to score consistently, they can win more games.
And even, it's funny, best game of the season offensively, but yet I feel like they still need to score even more. 21, score 28. Then we're kind of getting somewhere.
Exactly. And I want to say it was against the Patriots where they scored 24 or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, building upon that. I mean, again, imagine if Corley didn't they had another touchdown.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that there's room to grow here. Allen Lazard, for what it's worth, was also out this week too.
Yeah, he's out the next 4.
Chest injury? Yeah. What is it? No
I'm
idea.
Not even sure, yeah.
Because I saw it just said chest injury.
But honestly, I feel like they don't even need him because, especially with Adams, like if you didn't have Adams, then
no, it's true.
With
it's
Adams
just,
and Wilson,
but it is just another target for Rodgers.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Rodgers is going to need to be protected as well. Like, that's definitely an issue going down the stretch of the season. So I guess we'll see.
I feel like, is it just me though, or does he never have like a ton of time? Like
Rodgers, never.
Yeah,
never, dude. Even on that play where you saw like Garrett make that catch, like he had a guy in his face right away.
And didn't it feel like when we were watching him in Green Bay and he's throwing to Adams, like Like I feel like he always had time.
Have a picnic in the pocket. Yeah, dude.
And it's funny too. You look at the schedule. There's really only one game that I can't see them winning, and that's at Buffalo, week 17. But other than that, you're at Arizona next week, home to Indy, a week 12 bye, home to Seattle, at Miami, at Jacksonville, home to the Rams, at Buffalo, and then home to Miami to finish the year. The only problem is, so like you even say, okay, win all the other games, lose to Buffalo, you're in. Problem is, it's like the NFL, one of those games. I mean, let's face it. I mean, the odds are that they're probably going to lose one of those games that we think that they should win.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they have to play like perfectly, really, down the stretch of the season if they want to really make the playoffs. Which I don't know. I still think it could happen, dude. And in my opinion, if I'm Aaron Rodgers and I'm in this Jets team, I mean, it really needs to happen.
Right. Because it's like otherwise, like why this last 2 years? Like, what was it for?
Like, and like, what do they have next week?
They're Cardinals in Arizona.
Okay.
So that's not easy, but I'm just saying, like, it's like, it seems like they almost like, but then again, you think about it and it's like, they're not as good as the Texans.
They're not as good as the Texans. Exactly. Yeah. So, again, I feel like if the Jets get off to a start like they did this game, though, I mean, it's gonna be really tough. I mean, you gotta fucking like just come out. I mean, Rodgers had like one of the worst halves of his career to start this game. It was like 30 yards, 80 yards, 30 yards through the air, something like that, 36 yards, something so really stupid. And it's just like you can't be doing that. You were lucky that the Texans did not have a lot of offensive power and only scored 7 in the first half. You know. So if you come out against the Cardinals like this, making plays like this right here, on an opening drive, like there's a lot of potential.
Yeah. It's just funny. I'm just looking at the comments here. And Ernie's talking about Jets fans kill me. LOL. Let's start playoff talk stream 6. But it's funny because I'm guessing, and like, obviously I haven't even met Ernie yet, but that he, like the way he is with the Mets, he is with the Jets, I'm assuming. But it's like a couple of things here, Ernie. I mean, number one, we're just talking about it because like you just said, like, if you're not going to make the playoffs, like what was the point of all this? So
Correct.
Obviously, and it's been 14 years. But at the same time too, I think like kind of what we were saying, like, I know you kind of said they could, and I'm saying like, well, yeah, it's possible, but at the same time, it's like, we're not anticipating them making the playoffs either, though. It's just more like that's what you're playing for. So that's why we brought it up.
Exactly. So you think they need 10 wins would give them a playoff spot?
Yeah. So it's 7-1. Come on, dude.
I mean, that's tough, dude.
Yeah.
Do you think any way they can squeak in with 9? Like 9? I guess it may.
Yeah. Right. It's tough. There's too many mouths to feed.
A lot of mouths to feed here.
A couple other things here. Michael saying goats call it a turnaround game, baby. Ernie saying they don't want to eliminate the human error. He says he dropped a lot of passes in Green Bay. He's doing the same in New York. I'm guessing he's talking about Lazard. He says go Pack, go baby. Packers fan. I just want to see him fail personally. No issues admitting it.
That's wild.
That is a little wild, but at the same time,
I see where he's coming from.
Like I get it, but I don't get it because it's like. But then again, I guess it goes back to like being a Yankee fan. Like the Packers, have a rich history. So you look at Rodgers, his tenure there. In terms of winning championships, I mean, obviously it's underwhelming to say the least. And then you couple that with, I've kind of thought that the reason for that is because he comes up short as a leader. And I know they won last night, but I mean, does that kind of thought come into your mind that it's like leading is not necessarily his best, attribute?
Rodgers?
Yeah,
definitely. I don't know if it's like necessary that he doesn't want or can't be a leader, but I just think the way he interacts with people is just like a little like rigid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like after, you hear his post-game conferences. I just, like I said, the way he interacts, especially young, like his players, I mean, him coming off as like kind of like you're like I can't really talk to you, like
right.
I
was actually just gonna say, like, he gives you the idea that it is a privilege, not a right. To talk to Aaron Rodgers.
Like, whoa.
So I think that makes him struggle with relatability. Who do we got?
A phone call from New Jersey.
Ernie?
I don't know. It's Kearney, New Jersey. So
Ernie and Kearney?
Ernie and Kearney. There's no way. All right, hold on. Everyone stand by. 1 second. You were live on the Sports Board. Good morning. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, it's Ernesto.
Oh, it
Ernie
is
and
Ernie
Kearney.
and Kearney, dude.
Had to call.
What's going
What's
on,
going
bro?
on, man?
So I know it sounds wild. I know it sounds wild, but yeah, no, you guys hit it literally on the button, bro. Like I've had to defend Aaron Rodgers for the majority of my adulthood life. And it's just like, it's frustrating when you look at how much he has come up short and the amount of diva treatment that he has on him. It's like, dude, like you can sit there and be the way you are if you had 2-3 rings, maybe, you know, if you performed when you needed to and not lose games that you should have won at home in the playoffs, choking up a job and then blaming it on the defense. So it's just like, it's to me as a Packers fan, I want to see him personally fail just because of the fact that it's just like, bro, you are not better than the team. You are not the reason why we won. Matter of fact, you're the reason why we've lost a lot of these games. So it's just like the way that he left Green Bay, the way that he treated Green Bay, the way that it's just like, dude, like it's frustrating as a fan to see him do everything that he did right before he left the pack. Then everything that he said before he left the pack, like, you know, we don't have any weapons. I don't have this. I don't have that. Okay, so if that's the case, how do we have the youngest team in the NFL and one of the youngest teams in the NFL flourishing? Like since he's left, we've been fine.
Yeah.
And it's just like he took everybody with him. So the whole argument that he had of, oh, we're not getting this, we're not getting that, dude, you took everybody with you from Green Bay and you're getting the exact same results. Maybe it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's just at the end of the day, you know, no one is above the entire team. And, you know, team chemistry is important. Locker room chemistry is important.
Very.
So it's interesting. And that's how I kind of see it, though, that hamstrings him. Because from a talent perspective, it seems like, you know, that he's one of the most talented quarterbacks ever. But for the amount of years he's played, it's definitely disappointing. That's for sure.
Dude, I've had so many arguments about this, and like I used to be the guy that used to say like, okay, yeah, Tom Brady is a systematic quarterback. Like he might not win when he leaves New England. He's this, he's that. Like Aaron Rodgers, talent wise, has better talent than Tom Brady, and I've had to eat all of my words because it's just like every time I go to say that, a big game, a big must-win game comes through Lambeau, or you know, I have Rodgers and I'm sitting there with a discount double check belt on, and I'm just like, bro, like let's go get it done. And does it ever happen? No. It's like I had to see him get his ass beat every time he goes to San Francisco. I had to see him lose that San Francisco game at home in the snow at Green Bay. Like that hurt. Watching that game as a diehard Packers fan, seeing that we have a game against a team from California in Green Bay in fucking 2-degree weather and we can't win, that's insane to me. Like we have, like, especially having Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Like, how do you sit there and say, nah, I'm going to take the Niners who have never played a game in -2 weather? It's just frustrating as hell to watch it. So it's like, then you had the year that we were a number 1 seed and we lost to the Giants at home. Then you have the winning in game against Detroit that he looked like shit. It's just like, bro, you give us every reason to say, all right, yeah, maybe you're not it, but you act like you are.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's amazing too, because you kind of questioned last year the Packers slow start, you know, is LaFleur even any good without Rodgers? And all of a sudden they go on this run and really should have beaten the 49ers in that, you know, NFC championship game or NFC divisional game. Yeah, divisional game. But yeah, no, it's amazing what they're doing. And I think, yeah, they were a little hamstrung with him not wanting to incorporate younger players into the group, but it's like makes it harder for the defense that when you play the Packers, you're not just focusing on one of the receivers. And I think that's why Love has had the success he's had so far.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I've seen, and I don't know if you guys remember, but Matt LaFleur, right when we were struggling, we got out of it. We had 2 straight games, 2 good wins. Jordan Love had 2 straight great performances. And when the press asked LaFleur, would you make any changes to the scheme? Did you do anything to the offensive playbook? Blah blah blah. He said, no, I just let Jordan Love go. I just told him to go. I just told him to free up, and he allowed him to be a NFL quarterback. And since then, the Packers have looked great. So it's just like we have a system. The Packers have a system. If you're a Packers fan, you know the system. Quarterback, have a great quarterback for 10, 12 years, draft somebody, have them sit behind somebody who's great for the next 3, 4 years, have them watch and learn, do the practice squad, all of that. And then that quarterback comes in and he performs. I mean, it's been that way since Favre. So it's just like, and you also have to think Green Bay's defense has always been pretty good. I'm not going to say great, but pretty good. So you have these quarterbacks, these young quarterbacks learning against a pretty good defense, not a practice squad defense. So it's just like the Green Bay has figured out the system. So when that thing happened where we drafted Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers got butt hurt, it's like, brother, are you looking in a mirror? Is that what it is? Because we did the same thing to Favre with you.
Yeah,
So
it's worked out well. That's for sure. And after it seemed like he was a bust because he had played preseason, all this stuff didn't look good, and he's really turned it on to be one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And we're gonna do our picks in a second, but I was just curious, big game this weekend for the Packers against the Lions, and obviously as a fan, we're always going to go into things with an optimistic look and feel like we're gonna win. But how confident are you that they are gonna take down Detroit?
I think Packers win by a late second field goal.
Last second field goal. Wow. And it's
Because
McManus is the kicker now.
Yeah, because it's like I don't care what anybody says as far as the regular season goes. It's a division game. I was just having this conversation with a couple of fans from the NFC North, because I was literally in a room with a Eagles fan, a Cowboys fan, and a Washington fan. So we're all talking, and I explained to them. They're like, a couple of Eagles fans are like, oh, well, we'll beat Washington. But I'm like, brother, like, relax. It's division games. You can't even sit here and say you'll beat 2 for the Giants just because of the fact that you don't know. You really don't know. Like those division games are always a toss-up. I'm like, as a Packers fan, I can never count 2 wins.
Can we get a drug test though for the Giants fan that said they're going to be Washington or no?
Well, we were smoking, so it's very possible that's what it was. I didn't want to destroy his little high moment there, but so I kind of sidestepped it.
That is funny, man. That's funny.
But that's what it comes down to. Like when it goes to the division games, like you got to expect a split. Like so, like, even with the Bears, I will never say that we'll sit here and sweep the Bears as much as I want to. I always, every single year when I put out my prediction for the Packers schedule, I split the division games every single year, just because you never know. So especially like look at this year. As much as last year I would have said, yeah, we'll sweep the Bears, we'll sweep Minnesota. Can I say that this year?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, exactly. So no, it's going to be interesting. Packer definitely in the thick of things. So that'll be a good game to watch on Sunday. But thanks for calling in, Ernie. And anytime again, we'd love to have you, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.
Appreciate you guys. All right.
Of course. Peace.
Thanks, Ernie.
Bye.
Do we have TCA picks?
No.
Josh, where are you?
Josh, Kev Do.
Could have asked Ernie, but I figured, usually Josh B and Kev Do are on top of it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe, they must have had a little too much candy last night, maybe.
That's true.
Did you get any candy?
So like we had some at the house to give out.
Yeah.
So I had some Kit Kats last night.
Nice, dude. Did you get a lot of trick-or-treaters?
So me and Matt went to get dinner at Louis, actually. So I wasn't home for it. So I only saw like our neighbors come over. Fire though, chicken parm vodka sauce.
Oh,
could have it right now.
Josh B, chicken parm vodka sauce.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's going on, bro?
What up, fellas?
Not much, dude. Just got off the phone with Ernie.
Yeah, no, I was listening. I'm listening.
Ernie from Kearney.
He actually used to live in Kearney.
There you go.
Yeah, that was like the location that popped up on the caller ID.
That's funny.
So are you guys getting back in the pick?
Yeah. What do you got here, dude?
Who knows? But wait, before we talk about these picks, we got to talk about Tony's picks last night.
Yeah, dude. Nothing hit, huh? That's tough.
And not
Not one thing hit, Brian.
Yeah, I mean that's tough. Definitely is tough.
I'm
dude.
watching the games. I'm watching the game, looking at it on my Yahoo. I'm like, Seattle's losing. Toronto's putting it on it. Anaheim's losing.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like this time of the year though is a little tough for betting on hockey. Like if you wait a little bit, a little easier.
No, yeah, true. I guess I really thought though, like Kraken would come in like pretty hot, and I really thought like Penguins would be left in the dust. But the Penguins,
he was so convincing.
I felt. I mean, I believed myself. You know, like I was. You know. So, oh gosh, dude, it's tough. You have those tough nights sometimes. I'll make it up to you, Josh. Don't worry.
I'll be waiting for it. I'll be waiting for it. All right, so let's make this quick. We're gonna go Bills -6.
Bills -6.
Commies -4.
Commies -4.
And we're gonna take another NFC East team, the Eagles, giving it 7.5.
Wow. Eagles 7.5. Okay. I think some good selections there. But we're ready to go. That's the thing.
Oh, I like it. Good.
Yeah, dude, me too.
Hopefully, we took all three of the picks you were looking at.
I mean, hard to not fade the Giants against the Commanders. That one to me feels like I almost want to just go mortgage on that.
And only is like -4 too. Like,
but then that's a trap. But I just think the Giants suck, though. That's the thing.
The Giants do suck, dude.
Would you say that's the one you're most confident in?
Division games.
Nah, but against Daniel Jones, though.
I think the Bills over the Dolphins, because the Dolphins do not look good, and we see what the Bills have been doing.
Yeah, the Bills look like they're ready to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, dude.
Yep. And now they got what's his face over there? Who they just trade for Cooper.
Cooper, right? And then Keon Coleman's really coming on too,
which is ridiculous, dude. They're so freaking.
Shakir looks good.
Kincaid, James Cook looks like one of the best running backs in the league.
Wild.
Shakir is a good wide receiver.
Yeah,
they got a good squad over there.
No, they're dangerous for sure. So
yeah, I think that Bills pick is even more than the Commies pick.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I could see that for sure. Last question for you. I know you got to go, Josh, but what would you say percentage the Jets, the 7 out of 8 to get in the playoffs? Ernie was tight about the chatter about that, but what would you say the percentage of that happening is?
Let's go with a beautiful 10%.
Wow, I mean, I think that's kind of high.
Okay,
Tony,
yeah,
right?
that is kind of high. 10%, dude.
I mean, I was trying to give a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. I thought that was pretty low. 10% is not all right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's too. It does feel like too little, too late, but we'll see what happens. We're ready to go. We're ready to increase the lead in the picks. So, right now,
we gotta gain some ground.
15-9, 11-12-1. Good luck to you, fellas.
Good luck to you too, guys.
All right, Josh. Thanks for calling in, bro. Have a great day.
Later, fellas.
Josh B.
Just like that, dude.
So they definitely, I pretty much feel like all of those games were like probably ones we would take. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, obviously we know, Tony, there's still plenty of other games to choose from. So let's just run over our options here.
Run over.
Cowboys, Falcons. I mean, it feels like the Falcons are gonna win. They're -3, but I don't know. It's like I can't say it with conviction.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're due. They took the Bills game. Bengals -7 again. Like it feels like that should be. So maybe we could say half to quarter circle on that one. Chargers, Browns. Winston's been playing well. I mean, the Chargers are good, but are they great? So again, I don't know if I could go there. Patriots, Titans. I mean, the absolute toilet bowl.
God,
let's
dude.
not even talk about that game.
Dude. And then
Saints, Panthers, kind of same thing. But it's interesting. I hate to do this, but Broncos +8 is tempting at Baltimore.
It is.
But again,
+8, +9?
+8 I'm showing on here. That's crazy that it says it there. I'm literally looking at the same screen and it says +8.
Oh yeah, it says +8 when you click into it.
So I mean, what do you think? That's like you could see it, but you don't feel like comfortable with it.
Yeah, I could change. That's my say. Yeah, I would agree. I would say that I could see it. Not very comfortable with that move though, but
I mean,
we're running out of games.
We don't. I'm just looking at this. I mean, just to get started. So this is out of order of the sequence of the games, but I say we go Vikings -5.5 at home against the Colts. Joe Flacco starting. Vikings needing the win.
Think they get the win?
The Colts, though, I mean, I'm not nervous about the Colts. That's just my only thought.
I'm
there.
nervous about Joe.
But you don't think he's not great? I mean, I know he's improving the team. I'm just saying, looking at what we have. I mean,
I know
Cardinals,
dude.
Bears. That feels like a toss up, and it's
I don't know. Lions, Packers, toss up.
I mean, I hate to say it to
Rams,
Ernie, but I kind of feel like the Lions are the better team here. No,
I mean, I love Montgomery.
yeah, but I don't know. But
Green Bay too. Like, are we going to throw some intercept? Packers have who's that dude? Who leads the league in interceptions?
Oh,
with the dreads.
McKinney.
Yeah,
dude. McKinney. And then I don't think you want to go against Baker 8.5 on Monday Night Football.
Oh,
They are in shambles though.
They are in shambles, dude.
Yeah, just the 8.5.
8.5 is a large spread.
Yeah, this is this. We're really working for these picks this week. This is a
Yeah.
little uncomfortable. To be
I feel
honest.
uncomfortable right now. You want to take Vikings? Let's take Vikings.
Do we go
minus 5.5.
Vikings and then the Bengals? The Raiders are just absolutely cooked. I know the Bengals obviously have been kind of a mess.
Looking for their first win at home, though. I mean,
yeah,
they're
I think
kinda
just
due.
do it.
-7 though.
Yeah.
Let's do Cincinnati -7.
And then we got to just get creative here for the last one.
All right, so
Broncos are an option. And I guess the Chiefs are an option, and maybe I don't know, the Rams over the Seahawks, but then Nakua is injured again, though, so maybe not.
Is he injured again?
Yeah.
But he's gonna play, is he?
I think that's up in the air.
What the hell, man?
No, I know.
This is my freaking fantasy team, man. I mean, do you want to hit those Broncos?
Kind of, honestly. But it's basically either the Broncos or the Chiefs.
It's tough, dude. Broncos or the Chiefs with Monday night.
Baker with no receivers at Arrowhead on Monday night.
I know, with no receivers.
And with a defense that looks like absolute shit.
Yeah. Browns is kind of tempting +2.5, +1.5. But no, let's just go. I mean, Bucks is probably, the Chiefs rather is probably the safe bet.
Just do it. A lot of big numbers. Sometimes this can get dicey, but I think we have to do it. And I'm just about to text in the group chat here. So it's Vikings -5.5. It's the Bengals -7. And then it's the Chiefs is it 8.5?
Chiefs are -8.5.
Okay.
Brian.
It's a big number, but team is in shambles.
I'm in shambles.
No, I think it's fair to say I am in shambles.
Did the golf help yesterday?
Yes, because there wasn't as much time to reflect, Tony. You know what I mean? It's like I said too, just going back to that for 1 second. It's it's just tough because no matter what anybody says, no matter what way I try to internalize it myself, at the end of the day, I just want to be a champion.
Yeah, you're totally right, dude.
So, I mean, it's tough too because I feel like does it make it easier for you? Because I feel like you've said several times that you want to see the Rangers win more.
Yeah.
So, right now, Mets season over a long time, but is that not even a problem for you because you're just ready for the Rangers to win or no?
Yeah, no, I guess. I don't know, not a problem. I mean, I'm really worried about the Mets next year, to be honest. But
no, I'm just saying the feeling inside that it sucks that you have to wait so long to see them play. Is that?
It is saved by the Rangers. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
Can the Rangers save it for us, Tony? Right?
Yeah. Honestly, dude. God.
But it was interesting when I was asking Tommy yesterday. He was saying he feels good as long as they can have a better trade deadline. That last year's trade deadline kind of was the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, it definitely was, dude. You can't be kind of dicking around with the deadline, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever you need, you got to go pick up
a
significant player.
Imagine if they had, do you think they could have won with Gensel, honestly?
Maybe, yeah.
Crazy.
Playing well right now.
So be interesting. We'll see what happens. But it is time, Tony, for a week 9 NFL frenzy.
Right you are, Brian. I can't believe we're saying here week 9. It's November 1st.
Yeah.
How about that nonsense right now? November. So let's freaking go, dude. Around the NFL, starting off 1 p.m. on FOX. Brian said it before. Falcons, Cowboys. We're going on here. Atlanta, -3. Total is 51.5. Feels like the boys are playing for their season. What do you think's going to happen here, dude?
It like you said, it's just because of that. The Falcons have shown all season long they're a better team, but I think the desperation wills Dallas to win this game. I think it goes under. I think that's a high number at 51.5. So I'm going to say Dallas +3, the under. The Cowboys, I think it's going to be close. Of course, they always have to sweat it out. I'm going to say boys, 48-yard game-winning field goal at the horn, 20-17.
Absolutely love that call right there. Next up, we have Dolphins at the Bills. Speaking of teams playing for their season here, the Dolphins 2-5 here, coming off back-to-back losses against Arizona and Indianapolis. The Bills are rolling, undefeated at home. They are -6 here in the spread. Total is 48.5. Do the Dolphins have what it takes to take down seemingly the favorite to win the Super Bowl right now?
I just feel like with the Dolphins, and I know they're at full strength now, so let's look at them as a full-strength team. What have we seen the last couple of years? Big games against really good teams. Where's the win the last couple of years? It seems like it's against the lesser competition. So being it's a road game at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, I have to go with the Bills. So I think Allen, Cook, his rapport with his receivers, they're really hitting their stride right now. So maybe this is close at the half, like Bills, I don't know, 17-10. But I think they go on to win here. I'm going to say 38-24.
Okay.
So definitely an over game.
Way over.
But Bills and the over.
All right, let's go now to next game, 1 o'clock, FOX here in Cincinnati. The Bengals taking on the Raiders. Both teams here at the bottom of their divisions in the AFC, which is pretty interesting. Bengals here 3-5. Raiders were once 2-2, but then a 4-game losing streak they're on right now drops them to 2-6, which is why they're +7 on the spread. Over/under is 46.5. Brian, Bengals kind of a team also playing for their season right now. Or at least the playoff of their season. They're 0-4 here at home. Do the Raiders have what it takes to upset?
Absolutely not. I think that Joey B so fired up. I think he's looking at 360, Tony.
Jesus.
3 scores, and I think the Bengals win this game by 3 scores. I'm going to say 28-7. Bengals over the Raiders. Bengals and the under.
Next up here, we're going to Cleveland as the Browns are taking on the Chargers at 1 o'clock. The spread here, Cleveland +1.5. Over/under is 41.5. Browns, the big upset last week against Baltimore. Jameis looking pretty good. The defense looking good. The running game looking good. The Chargers, though, I mean, honestly, looking to start a spark, right, Brian? What do you got?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's just one of those things, you look at what Winston done. I mean, it's been great. The complexion of the team changed, him last week getting the start.
Yeah.
But I still think you can't be blindsided by that and get emotional with the prediction here. So because of that, I think the Chargers are the better team, and they have the better coach in Jim Harbaugh. So I think they're going to win this game. I think they will run the football effectively with Dobbins and Edwards and give Herbert some time to throw. So I think this has Chargers 24, Browns 21 written all over it. Chargers and the over.
Absolutely. A next primetime AFC matchup here. Tennessee, the Titans taking on the Patriots. Both teams bottom of the barrel here. Titans, we know the deal, 1-6. Patriots, 2-6. The Jets, whatever. Titans have yet to win at home here. Should be interesting to see kind of what goes on. Patriots, Jacoby Brissett, what's going on there. But of course, Titans here, 3-game losing streak, getting fleeced by Detroit and Buffalo back-to-back weeks. Are they in for some revenge this week?
I think the Patriots are going to win this game. I mean, these teams are terrible. You would think the NFL was considering canceling this game because nobody cares. Regardless of that, I mean, the Patriots really are not good. I know they beat the Jets last week, but the Titans may be even worse. So just because of that, maybe Stevenson gets going, Brissett on a couple throws to Hunter Henry, but an absolute ugly game. But I'm going to say the Patriots will win 13-3. So it's the Patriots and the under.
Wow. Next game here, we're going back to the Meadowlands. The Giants taking on the Commies. Meadowlands getting some hot action this season, no doubt. Giants 0-4 at home, though. 2-6 in the year. We know the Commies and where they're at. Just coming off that big win, the tight win against Chicago, kind of crazy game. Commanders, how much are they winning by, Brian?
The only Hail Mary needed this week is for the Giants to score a point against the Commanders. I mean, I just think the Giants might not win another game the rest of the season. The Commanders are ascending. Jaden Daniels has brought this franchise to life. I think this is 35-7, and potentially we're getting close to the end of the Brian Daboll era in New York.
Speaking of coming close to an end of an era here, we're going to Carolina for another phenomenal game. Another team who hasn't won a game at home in the Panthers. They're hosting the Saints. 1-3 on the road, 2-6 in the year. Derek Carr, frustrated. The whole team. Andy Dalton. What's going on here, dude?
And I think Young is going to get the start here
Yes.
again. I know he played last week. Regardless, I don't think it matters. I mean, I think the Panthers are that bad. The Saints suck, but they're just better than the Panthers. So I think they cover. I think they win. Maybe they look more like the Saints team from week 1 and 2. So they're trying to, quote unquote, save their season. But I think they win this game. Let's give them 21-10 over the Panthers. So it's the Saints and it's the under.
Love that one. So our next game here, which could be kind of maybe potentially more close as we go to Baltimore. The Ravens hosting the Broncos. You know, Broncos playing for a wild card spot over there out of the AFC West. Obviously, Ravens here, you know, fighting with the Steelers for the division. They're at -8.5 on the spread. Over-under is 46.5. Ravens tight coming off that loss against Cleveland. Broncos look like they have something going, back-to-back wins. New Orleans Panthers. Are they anything at the Ravens? No. So what do you have here?
Yeah, I think Ravens win, but don't cover. That's what this game screams like. And I would not be surprised, Tony, if it's 21-10 at half. But then it ends up being, Ravens maybe 28-24. I mean, let's go with that. So I think they win, don't cover, it goes over. So Ravens and the over. Ravens 6-3.
Another team here, Jacksonville Jaguars, looking to get maybe a wild card spot out of the AFC. They're taking on the Eagles in Philly, which is pretty interesting. The Jags, tough year, 2-6, not one win on the road, which is why they're +7.5 here on the spread. Their over-under is 45.5 here. The Jags seems like they get something going, and then they kind of take a few steps back. Eagles, they've won 3 in a row here, obviously handling the Bengals last week. So what do we have for the Jaguars? The Cats.
Make it 4 in a row for the Eagles. I've been kind of down on them after the collapse last year, but it does seem Saquon has really energized this team this year, and I think he continues to rumble. I wouldn't be surprised if he runs for $125 and 2 scores in this one. The Jags are a mess, and Peterson feels like a dead man walking here. Against his former team. How poetic would that be if he gets canned after the game? But that being said, I think it's going to be Eagles 31-17. So it's the Eagles and it's the over.
All right, now next up, we're in the 4:05 time slot here, CBS, and we're going to a sweet little NFC matchup. Arizona, baby. The Cards are taking on the Bears. Arizona -1.5 here in the money line. Total is 44.5. Cards coming off back-to-back wins. Chargers, Miami. Bears, we know the upset, I guess you could say, last minute to the Commanders. What do you think here? Kyle Murray and the boys have what it takes?
This is so tough because it feels like every time you count on the Cardinals, they don't win. When you don't expect them to win, they win. But you can say that about the Bears, and then you worry about the psyche losing on a Hail Mary last week. So I have to say I am completely torn on this pick. But I do just have this thing that while I do have some concerns about Caleb Williams at times, I do feel like the Bears have a better team. That defense is really good. They have talent on offense. So I think this is very close, and it might be a shootout. So I'm going to say the Bears will win this game. I'm going to say 31-28. So it's the Bears and the over. Bears 5-3, one of the best stories in the NFL.
Absolutely. Speaking of the Bears, let's stay in the NFC North. A sweet little divisional matchup coming here. Ernie, dude, the Lambeau here. Green Bay Packers taking on the Detroit Lions, 425. Green Bay plus 2.5. Over-under is 48.5 here, Brian. Obviously, both teams super talented. Should be a great game. NFC North might be the most competitive division in the entire league here. What do you foresee, Brian?
Unequivocally, the most competitive team in the league. I mean, competitive division. But yeah, sorry, Ernie. I actually have always welcomed the Packers doing well. But my heart just tells me here that the Lions are just a little bit better. So I think because of that, I think this could be a classic game, but the Lions will wear out that Packer defense, and I think they end up winning by a touchdown. I do think there's a lot of points scored here, but it's Lions 28, Packers 21, Lions and the over.
Going to be a great game, no doubt about that. Let's go now to Seattle, Brian. They are taking on the Rams of L.A. in Seattle. Lumen Field, Brian. 425 here at FOX. The Rams are -1. Crazy spread here. Puka Nacua hobbling. Says this won't be serious. Should be good. Don't know for sure, though. Total 48.5. Obviously, Seahawks looking like they're bobbling their season right now. Rams are on the up. What do you think?
So tough. But yeah, it does seem like there's something rotten in the water there in Seattle.
Yeah.
So I guess just because of that and the Rams, a little life here, you win. Oh, wait a second. We're back in this thing. So, and you got a better quarterback, a better coach. So give me the Rams. I'm going to say 24-17. So the Rams and the under.
Absolutely beautiful here. Now let's go to our primetime 8:20 NBC Peacock game. We're going to Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Vikings taking on the Colts. Minnesota laying down 5.5 points here. The over-under is set at 46.5. Vikings coming off back-to-back losses, their first 2 losses of the year, seeming like people are now counting them out. Detroit, LA, those are tough matchups there. And one of the Colts, aren't anything to write home about. They just lost to Houston, kept it close. But do you foresee them keeping it close here?
No,
in
I think
Minnesota?
the Vikings are pissed off. They want to get back to the football team they were before these back-to-back losses, and I think they will. I think Aaron Jones has a big game against this Colts defense. $130 and 2 touchdowns. Darnold, a modest, maybe 185 in a score, but managing the game, not turning it over. And I think this is Vikings 21-10. So it's the Vikings and it's the under. And just like that, Tony, that is your Week 9 NFL frenzy.
Dude, there are some like Josh B said, tough pick'ems for sure. Some great matchups here. There's gonna be a lot of great football here for Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna ask you, like we always do, favorite game of the week here.
Game of the week. Talking about Rams Seahawks is kind of fun. I do enjoy watching the Bills play, but I think at the end of the day, and maybe even the same for you, that 425 time slot in Lambeau, Packers Lions. I think it's gonna be a gritty game. We're in Lambeau Field. Division on the line here. Let's fucking go. There's a lot riding on this game right here, and there's 2 great teams with great coaches that I have a lot of respect for. So it should be a great game.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn between Saints, Panthers, and Titans and Patriots. Those might be the games of the week. I'm just kidding. But I'm gonna say Broncos Ravens, honestly, because I want to see how this Broncos defense that's been playing well stands up to Baltimore. They're tough to play at home. The running game. Will they stifle Lamar Jackson? I mean, he hasn't struggled with too much this year. I know they started out 0-2, right?
Yep.
But his numbers are unbelievable. 17 touchdowns, 2 picks, and Henry almost has 1,000 yards. So what is the answer to stop this Baltimore offense? But I just think about how good the Broncos defense is, and then the Ravens' tendency, especially if they're playing with a lead second half, to let the other team back in the game. So that's why I think that's going to be close and could be an all-time classic on Sunday afternoon. So let's see what happens. But let's also go, Tony, to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots, top shelf, he scores! Captain with the overtime winner! That's a nail break. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping, rink wide! Made the full split save!
Are you kidding me?
Turn, side of the net, between the legs, and they score! Filthy! David Pasternak, the silver trophy to the Golden Knights!
All right. And I have to say, looking at the ticket prices for tonight's Ranger game, I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't set up going to this game, because pretty good value here. A weekend game for the Rangers, and you could get in the building, Tony, for $130. I mean,
Really?
Come on. Usually that's $200 all day.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was talking about that last night with some people, and it is wow, dude, I guess you can. Yeah. I guess maybe we should look ahead here. Ottawa, Kachuk.
I
think
think
maybe we did talk about
I think we might have, actually. And I think the thing is, I guess it's just like this time of year. It's just it's the tickets are just less expensive.
Yeah, I guess so, dude. This is kind of wild. 140 right here.
But then once you get into once it's the new year, then I just feel like the prices just take off. But I think that's because of what else is going on. But then again, it's like today's a Friday night. I don't know. But I think that's because
wow, it happens a lot to you today, huh?
I didn't even press anything, though. I think there's like a ghost in here.
How about 143 to get in, section 226, row 19 with fees.
But see, that's the thing, though. You look at that thing, and then you look at game time, and you're 129. Tony.
Really?
Game time is always the best, I have to say. Like, sure, you might find something else where, but game time is definitely where it's at. And we look at the Rangers here, disappointing last time out against the Capitals. They had a Ducks win sandwiched in between a loss to the Panthers. And then before that, obviously, they were coming off mostly wins. But how do you feel about this game, tonight? Are you – because I feel like we're kind of at a point where now it's like, okay, let's kind of reinforce ourselves here, kind of more of a win with conviction, I feel like is necessary tonight.
Yeah, I think so too, dude. I mean, I'm a little worried. Ottawa isn't a bad team by any sense. Linus Ullmark is obviously a huge addition to their goaltending crew there. And I mean, Ottawa last season for me was kind of like my dark horse team, could ruffle some feathers. And I mean, Tim Stutzel's been killing 14 points here in the year. It's a great, I want to say maybe sophomore year for him. Maybe 3 years he's been in the league. Regardless, and then obviously Brady Tkachuk is capable of, big body as well. So, and they came off I think they just destroyed somebody. Yeah, they destroyed the Blues 8-1. So obviously the offense could be there. I think that's what's going to be the key for the Rangers to win this game. I mean, you got to play physical. You got to make Brady Tkachuk feel like it's a small ice there. So I don't know, man. I mean,
it's not a little downtrodden.
I mean, it's tough, dude. I think Ottawa is going to put up a good fight here, at the Garden, no doubt. Rangers got to step up a little bit. I mean, that loss to Washington did worry me a little bit. I know it's early in the season. Nick, you want to take it maybe like, you're kind of overreacting. Regardless, Washington, like their style of game should not be like at all beneficial to them playing in the Rangers. I just felt like that was a team where you should have kind of it should have been the opposite. You should have won 5-3, easily. So we'll kind of see. Obviously, Ottawa plays like a fast game, but also physical. So Rangers have to keep up with that. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think their defense will do right by them. And I think Igor, they've had a couple of days off, right? So, which is so annoying. But regardless, I mean, they're well rested, so let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I think set the tone early. It's just like baseball, scoring early. I think scoring early in hockey, is important. And really, like you said, the defense show a strong defense from the start of this game, and I think the rest, will take care of itself. And before we do our frenzy here, I'm just curious. I mean, what is your overall thoughts? I mean, I know in the losses necessarily it might not have looked great, but just with the offense so far this season, I mean, have you liked what you've seen there? Is there anything that you're looking to kind of like improve upon?
I mean, improve upon, sure. I mean, there's always room for improvement there. But I mentioned, obviously Panarin, hot start to the year. Kreider as well. Yeah, Trocheck, you're looking at Mika as well. All these guys have a lot of points here. Offensively, I mean, you got to be more than happy, I feel like, with the amount of goals that they've been scoring. And I mean, you even want to look at some of the games they've won. Maybe lower scoring on some, but again, like they hammered. They scored 9 goals in 2 games against the Red Wings, back-to-back games. They put up 5 on Utah. They put up 7 on the Canadiens. So I would say that it seems like they're off rip. Shutting out the Penguins 6-0 game. First game of the year. Like they came out hot. Like I think they're producing more offensively than they were last season at this point, for sure.
Yeah. I would like to see Mika get going. 2 goals, 9 games. I mean, I know that's not like, oh my God, like, but you know what I mean? Like, do you think he can return to being that guy we saw 2 years ago?
Yeah, no, I think so, dude. Especially on that line. Obviously, again, maybe taking a role more of a setup man because he does have 5 assists so far on the year. So he's at that center man, really, really facilitating some goals here, specifically to Kreider. I'm sure of it. So, no, but I think, maybe over some time, like he'll be fine in the back in that. Maybe not having, 40 goals this year, but nonetheless, like he's still going to contribute in terms of goal scoring.
Yeah. And I think he can contribute more consistently than he did last year because it seemed like weeks at a time.
Definitely.
Just kind of disappearing. And Michael says, need Mika to stop chiefing it. Did he cut his mop yet? That needs to go.
Michael Buckta?
Michael Theophil.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And also, we did miss his comments, by the way. He says, goats. I called it as a turnaround game, baby, referring to the Jets.
Yeah, it's interesting, dude. I mean, he has not cut his hair. It's interesting how now Michael has that like sentiment of cutting the mop,
Yeah.
Because he cut his and
I mean, listen. I think there is like a refreshing nature to it. Think about Artie last year. I mean, what did that lead to?
Absolutely, dude. A great year for him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So kind of an interesting thought. The very intelligent insight from Michael on that one.
Yeah.
But he said his hair isn't nice though. That's funny. But it is time, Tony, for a hockey Friday night frenzy.
Absolutely, baby. Let's go. It is a sweet little hockey Friday here. A great little hockey weekend up ahead around the bend. We're starting early and often this Friday, 2 p.m. We're going global, baby. We got the Stars hosting the Panthers at Nokia Arena in Finland, baby. Florida minus 125 here on the money line. And then the over-under is 6.5. Going to be pretty interesting. 2 powerhouse teams. Dallas Stars 7-2. Panthers 7-3-1 here. Both teams back-to-back wins. Actually, Panthers 3 wins in a row, destroying New York. Rangers, Islanders, Buffalo Sabres all in a row here. But, listen, this is not New York. This is Finland, the travel time, the what-have-yous. I know you don't like Dallas, Brian. What do you got going on here?
And it's interesting, too. Finland, what is this, the NFL with the international games?
Right.
I mean, come on. Anyway, you hit it on the head. And Florida, I mean, I know you could have off nights and maybe, going to Finland, the long travel, but that could affect Dallas as well. So going to go with the better team here. Give me Florida. Probably a tight game, but I'll say Florida is going to win this one 4-3. So it would be the Panthers and the over.
That's cool. Panthers in the over. I think I'm going to go Dallas Stars in the over. Definitely going the over here. These Global Series games typically do. Different nights, get used to it. Goaltenders have problems, and I think Bobrovsky will be part of that problem for the Panthers. He lets go one too many here. I'll say late third period, Matt Duchene, the go-ahead goal, dude, puts the Stars up 6-5. That's your final score. Ottinger not happy giving up 5 goals, but stoked for the win. Next game here now, we're going to Buffalo. Speaking of New York, they're taking on the Islanders, T-Bake Center in Buffalo, New York. The Islanders minus 105 here on the money line. Your over-under is 5.5. Both teams coming off of losses. Islanders are actually victims of 3 losses in a row, Brian. Do they bounce back in Buffalo?
Yeah, I think they do, and they feel like they're in shambles, but, I mean, Buffalo, I don't know. It's just been mediocre for a while, so I think the Islanders are better, and they're due. But again, with the Islanders, it seems like nothing is ever easy here.
Oh.
I'm going to say 3-2 Isles, though. Kyle Palmieri with the game-winning goal in overtime. So it's the Islanders and the under.
That's tough, dude. I guess I'll go with the Islanders as well, breaking their losing streak. Excuse me. Ilya Sorokin having a great year so far, even though he's 2-1. No offensive support. Actually, I gotta go Buffalo. I'm sorry, Brian. I just reminded myself that the Islanders don't fucking score. So give me the Sabres here. I think Tage Thompson recorded the fastest ever slap shot around the league at like 112 or something the other day. Give me a goal by him. Alex Tuck, why not? Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, not off to great numbers right now. But again, Islanders can't score. He gets his first shutout. Buffalo Sabres win 3-0. Next game here. Third game, best game. Let's go to the Madison Square Garden. Speaking of New York, 7 p.m. here, ESPN. They're taking on the Senators. We know the deal. Ottawa is plus 165, Brian. There's a reason for that. Over, under is 6.5. We know the story, Brian. What do you think's happening?
We know the story, but the result, despite maybe 2 Brady Tkachuk goals, I think the Rangers offense humming. Mika, 2 goals, 2 assists. I think the Rangers get this one done nice and easy. 5-2. Igor, 35 of 37 in the net. Rangers winning here. Rangers in the over.
I love that there. I think it'll be a defensive battle, no doubt, to start this game here. Low scoring, maybe a 1-1 or a 2-1 game going into the third period. I like the Brady Tkachuk goal there for Senators, but I think Rangers, 3 unanswered goals late in the third period, all from that second line. 1 from Smith, 1 from Kreider, and the final one from Mika himself. Rangers go on to win 5-2. Rangers and the over. Let's go next game here. Our last game in the 7 o'clock time slot here as we go to Columbus, Brian. They're taking on the Jets. Let's see if we can get 2 Jet wins on 2 back-to-back days here. Winnipeg minus 185 as they have one of the best records in the league at 9-1-0. Undefeated on the road, by the way. Over-under is 6.5 here against Columbus. Columbus coming off back-to-back wins, beating the Oilers 6-1 and then shutting out the Islanders. Do they upset the Jets at home here?
No. I mean, it's been impressive what they've done so far, but I think the Jets have shown, I mean, they're a really good team here, so I have a tough time thinking the Blue Jackets are going to be able to knock them off. There's a reason why they only have 1 loss this season. They're undefeated on the road. So I think it's the Hellebuck road shutout.
Wow.
I'm going to say 4-0 Jets and the under.
Oh, I do like that. I think this will be a goaltending matchup, no doubt. It's been interesting to see who Columbus starts. Elvis is coming back off a shutout here. He's been a great backup last season. We've been talking about him, but the Jets, Connor Hellebuck, you mentioned him, Kyle Connor, Josh Morrissey, also there on the line, killing it there for the Jets. So I think it's chalk here. Give me Jets, maybe 4-2, maybe 3-1. Regardless, Jets and the under, Brian. We move on now. 2 games left. 8 p.m. We're moving on to Minnesota Wild, taking on the Lightning. Tampa Bay minus 105 on the money line, Brian. Over under 6.5. Both teams coming off of wins. Tampa Bay have what it takes here in Minnesota?
I like the home team here. And Lightning, I think, are one of the better teams in the East, but been impressed with the Wild so far. And it just seems like they're hot and they're at home, and I think there's going to be a lot of momentum for them. The crowd behind them at the Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. But an old friend, Matt Zuccarello, a goal and 3 assists as the Wild outlast the Lightning here 4-2. Empty netter by Kaprizov at the end, but it is the Wild, and it is the under.
It's so tough, dude. I like the under call. I think I'm going to go with Tampa Bay, though, here. Honestly, we were talking about Gensel. I think he nets like an early third period goal, makes it 3-2. That's your final score right there. Tampa Bay skims by Lightning and the under. Next game, last game here, Calgary Flames here, 9 p.m., Scotiabank Saddle Dome. This will be one of 2 times these two teams face each other as the Flames are hosting the Devils, the Battle of a Red here. Jacob Markstrom, little homecoming for him, Brian. Don't forget about that. Obviously now tender of the Devils. He'll be trying to beat his former team tonight. Flames coming off of a 4-game losing streak right now. Devils getting things going. Scored 12 goals in the past 2 games. Beat Anaheim, beat Vancouver, shut them out. What do you see here as they continue the Canadian tour?
By the way, Stealing My Thunder was going to talk Markstrom tribute video, but unfortunately, a bittersweet return to Calgary for Mr. Markstrom. I know the Flames don't look great, but the Devils, let's take it easy. I mean, I think obviously they're going to be a better team this year, but let's not get carried away with just, chalking them up anytime they're a favorite in a game. So I just think because of that, maybe Markstrom's a little emotional. Maybe the emotions get the best of him. I'm going to say Huberdeau, a goal and 3 assists like it's 3 years ago. And the Flames will outlast the Devils here. I'm going to say 4-3. So it's the Flames and it's the over.
This is a tough call here. The Flames 4-game losing streak. They were 5-0-1 at one point. Now they're 5-4-1. Kind of crazy. Kind of extinguished themselves there. So I'm going to go with the Devils here. I think the Flames continue to go down. Devils, in my opinion, have better goal scorers right now, better defenders, better goal tending right now as well. I don't think Vladar is getting anything done behind the pipes for Calgary. Give me the Devils. I'm going to say it's the over. They win 5-3. Nico Hischier a goal and 2 assists.
Just like that. That is your Friday hockey frenzy. So let's go. And obviously, the Rangers here. Let's return to the winning ways. And
absolutely, dude.
Let's go from there. I mean, obviously early in the season, but you want, it's been a pretty positive start so far. You want to continue that, and you want to continue to see improvement every game, and just show that they are ready to go, ready to get back, to the Stanley Cup Finals, because we know that they are long overdue for that.
Absolutely, Brian. Absolutely, dude.
And I was just looking here. So, okay. So then they actually have a Sunday game at home against the Islanders.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I didn't realize that. So
I know it's just the Islanders.
Yeah. So 2 more home games after tonight, also next Thursday with Buffalo. So again, long break, but this is a stretch here, and then it's at Detroit, and then you have Winnipeg before that. But those 4 games, I mean, really, I know anything happens. It's hockey, the grind of the season, but you kind of should go 4-0 here. You don't have any back-to-backs either.
Yeah. No, I don't see why not. Buffalo could be kind of iffy. Detroit could be kind of iffy. But again, with the way your team is, you should be handling them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just get the job done at the end of the day.
Couple other things here. Michael says his hair was luscious, big difference, and he was riled for the hockey frenzy. And then Josh B saying hockey is much more international than NFL. LOL.
It's a fact.
Yeah, I guess what I was just saying is I didn't really hear anything about this. It's a random Friday night, and we have a game in Finland. It just took me off guard.
At 2 p.m. too.
Yeah, the time difference, I guess, but still,
obviously. But it's Friday. I guess maybe they're banking on people taking off because of Halloween. But it's come on,
let's get that more viewable for the American audience, right, Tony?
That's right, dude. American.
And then there were 2 other news bites I saw. Any thoughts on the Costas retirement?
Dude, I did see that, dude.
Yeah. Forced out, definitely, by the way.
I'm sure he's hearing the murmurs, and,
yeah.
And I'm sure, I don't know if he was given an ultimatum or what, or maybe just realizes that, hey, I want to go out while I still have some dignity left, even though I don't have any fucking respect for him right now. I wouldn't say none, but
pretty much none.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing something though. Is he retiring from
it says
baseball?
He says he will continue to do some work for the MLB Network on key events, including the Baseball Hall of Fame announcement. Obviously, so he can talk history.
Mm-hmm.
But just hang it up, Bob, honestly. Because like you try to do a podcast, I don't think anybody will listen.
I'm not gonna.
So I think it's time to go, right?
Yeah, it's time for him to go, dude. I mean,
Um,
he's more than he can call in to the show right now. Tell us his plans, maybe what he thinks about his retirement. I'd welcome that.
that
But
type of thing.
yeah,
And then I saw I the dismay of your fantasy team, Tony Bachero with the torn oblique.
yeah, it's tough, dude.
Tough. How's the
4 to 6
matchup going
weeks.
this week?
Not good.
Really?
I'm down like 7-1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's still plenty of games to be played over the weekend, at least.
Yeah, I guess so. We're trying to make some moves here. Mike's been doing his research. We got some bodies playing and stuff like that. So I picked up. Who did we pick up? Oh, this guy, of course, dude. This guy, his name is what the hell is his first name? His last name is Dick, though. Grady Dick of Toronto.
I saw that.
Apparently just scored a career high 30 points the other night. So people picked him up. Let's go. As well as Jay Huff on the Grizzlies center.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're trying here.
Yeah. Did you have anybody for football fantasy last night or no?
Yeah, dude. I started
Rodgers?
No, I didn't start Rodgers, even though he ended up getting 22 points, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I got Devontae Adams. He got 22 points as well. Kicker is Fairbairn. He did miss that fucking kick.
Long one, but nevertheless.
He's been killing it all year. Got me 8 points, so pretty solid. Right now, I'm up, got 30 points. I don't know who Maniacs Out the Tunnel is, but they didn't have anyone play. So
that's that.
What about you?
That's a good question.
I sauce your face, right? That's you. No, your neighborhood watch.
No, but that's football.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
But for football, I did have Garrett Wilson last night. So
that's right. You do have Garrett Wilson.
Great, 30 points, but only 5 for Schultz. I don't know why I keep playing him. But I'm playing. Oh boy. And I'm projected to win 132 to 105. So that's pretty good. That would get me back in the mix at 4-5 with a win.
Yes.
Fantasy basketball right now down 6-3 to Allen. But obviously some time to go here. And obviously a Friday night in the NBA. And that's Josh's brother-in-law.
Really? No mercy.
So a lot of guys going tonight. So let's go. I mean, this is the grind here for fantasy. These are important times, Tony.
This is what you need to do right now, dude. You got to grind it out. You got to focus, pick up get those waiver claims in there, man.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
The distractions until we get, I know a lot of times we were talking about the opening tee shots at Augusta National, but now the conversation switches to the first pitch at George M. Steinbrenner Field.
That's correct.
Bonus thing here. Knicks 2-2 in action. Detroit tonight. Detroit, like always, terrible so far. 1-4. Cade, though. You think they got it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you said it. The Pistons are not good. So it's like, the Knicks should be coming in there and just taking care of business, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Maybe a big game from Towns.
You would anticipate that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Brunson to play significantly, averaging 22 points.
Oh, but Towns is out, I guess? Go to the player news. Just curious.
Game time decision.
Because I have him for a different fantasy league.
Questionable Friday's game versus Pistons due to a sprained left wrist.
Wow. If Michael was here, you think he'd say soft?
Yeah, he would say that. It's so soft.
Yeah. So that's really where we're at. I was just gonna ask, is there prime time tonight?
Prime time, 8 p.m. Manny in the building. Binge Buddies, the Penguin, Halloween movies, of course. We're talking. So it's gonna be a good episode. You gotta tune in.
Penguin's getting crazy.
The Penguin is getting crazy, dude.
Like Farrell is gonna win a couple Oscars,
Emmys.
Yeah,
no doubt. He fucking should. He really should, dude. So yeah, dude, gonna be a good episode. I'm happy to have Manny back.
Yeah,
so let's fucking
go.
Everybody
check that out. And
spooky night.
I forgot to ask. Speaking of spooky night, the costume last night. How did it go? That?
Yeah, we killed it. Went to Goodwill. Picked up like a blazer. That was super cheap, obviously. And then it was the dad from Smart House. Michael was the kid. Renee was the AI Smart House. And we hammered it, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, I think best costumes I've seen.
And any plans over the weekend?
We're doing Rhode Island Comic-Con tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So that should be fun. Going to there, we'll be vlogging there.
Where in Rhode Island is it?
Providence.
It's in oh yeah, it's probably at where the convention center, which is right next to where your Tony Providence Friars play.
Wow.
At the Amica Mutual Pavilion, which also used to be known as the Dunk because it used to be called the Dunkin' Donuts Center.
Wow, dude. So yeah, maybe we'll be over there, be nice, and then obviously Sunday, sports sport, dude.
Yeah.
So busy weekend, chock full of action.
You know what's funny? I was going to mention, obviously, it takes you out of the equation because, you're going to be at that. But Pooch is having a Halloween party outside. So I was going to say, it's funny.
Nice,
me and John were talking about this last night. He's just with me with the costume thing. So
John is?
Yeah, he was like, I'm glad that you're going to be there because, I think we're just going to go no costume.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you guys. I think Pooch goes hard, right, with costumes?
Oh, yeah. Just last night, he went over his girlfriend's house and, he was, I think, going to give out candy for a little bit and they were going out to dinner. But he would, as a joke, he's showing up in full costume. I forgot what the costume is. I'm bad with that stuff.
Yeah,
but it was just kind of hilarious. Because he comes, and I thought, I didn't know what was going on. I thought he was going to a party or something. And he knocks on the door. We're chilling outside on the balcony, and he's full costume, ready to go.
That's so funny.
So riled for Halloween.
Yeah. That's funny.
So would you do you think though, I'm going to be frowned upon a little bit? I'm going to be getting some chirps, no costume?
Yeah.
But you know what it is? I can't even wear a costume.
Yeah,
no, but I'm saying, even though I could do the whole lazy Yankee jersey thing, but do I really want to do that and then have the comments, right? It's not worth it. I'd rather get the comments about no costume.
No, you're right. I would too.
And then I could say, I'm not here for the costume. I'm here for a good time.
That's right.
And then what are they supposed to say to that, Tony?
Nothing.
Exactly.
That's it. It's over.
So that is what we have. But I have to say, a great show today, a great week of shows, and
good God.
Looking forward to seeing everybody at the Horseshoe on Sunday. But we really appreciate everybody who tuned in and continues to comment, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume, the merch at downtime.tv.com. While everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go Rangers, and we will see you on Sunday.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.